Hey everyone and welcome. Now, as you're probably aware, Andrew Bridgen, the MP, has been doing some good work. You will see in a previous video where he nails it in regards to adverse effects of the jibby jabber. Well, it seems that now the British Medical Journal of Medical Ethics have confirmed everything that he said and have confirmed vaccines cause more harm than benefit to younger people.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Before I get into any of this, though, I want to retract something I said in the John Campbell video, Dr. John Campbell video, in regards to aspiration. Now, he did say, and he did explain it in the video, but I got it wrong, so I do apologise. Aspiration is due to, and it is pulling back on the syringe once you've injected, but it's because the jibby jabby is supposed to go into muscle and not a vein, i.e. if there's blood, it's not going into the right place, and because they're not doing the pull back bit, they can't guarantee that it's not going into a vein, and therefore if it does go into a vein, it will transfer that in its purest form all over your body and into your internal organs. So I do apologise for the mistake, everyone, but that is the actual reason for it. I do apologise. Let's get on with the rest of it, shall we? Now, he's called again, and I am calling again, and everybody else is calling again for these to be immediately suspended. He's calling for children, but I'm calling for everyone, as we shouldn't be put on an experimental mRNA treatment list, which is exactly where we are at the moment. So I thought we'd have a read through what the BMJ said, the British Medical Journal of Medical Ethics said, shall we? Let's have a listen. Conclusion. Based on public data provided by the CDC, we estimate that in the fall of 2022, at least 31,207 to 42,836 young adults aged 18 to 29 years must be boosted with an mRNA vaccine to prevent the one Omicron-related lurgy hospitalisation over 6 months. Given the fact that this estimate does not take into account the protection conferred by prior infection or a risk adjustment for comorbidity status, this should be considered a conservative and optimistic assessment of benefit. Our estimate shows that university lurgy vaccine mandates are likely to cause net expected harms to young healthy adults. For each hospitalisation averted, we estimate approximately 18.5 SAEs and 1,430 to 4,626 disruptions of daily activities. This is not outweighed by a proportionate public health benefit. Serious lurgy vaccine associated harms are not adequately compensated for by current US vaccine injury systems. As such, these severe infringements of individual liberty and human rights are ethically unjustifiable. They continue. Mandates are also associated with wider social harms. The fact that such policies were implemented despite controversy among experts and without updating the sole publicity available risk-benefit analysis to the current Omicron variants nor submitting the methods to public scrutiny suggests a profound lack of transparency. You're telling me? In scientific and regulatory policy making. These findings have implications for mandates in other settings such as schools, corporations, healthcare systems and the military. Policymakers should repeal lurgy vaccine mandates for young adults immediately and ensure pathways to a compensation for those who have suffered negative consequences from these policies. Regulatory agencies should facilitate independent scientific analysis through open access to participant-level clinical trial data to allow risk-stratified and age-stratified risk-benefit analysis of any new vaccines prior to issuing recommendations. This is needed to begin what will be a long process of rebuilding trust in public health. It's a very long process, if you ask me. Nigh on impossible after what they've done. I would actually say not only should we stop this for young adults, we should stop it for everybody. It's obviously an experimental therapy, because it's not a vaccine, that doesn't protect you, doesn't protect anyone around you, but seems to have a higher and higher risk of adverse effects. Now, I would also state that this should null and void all protections for the big pharma companies in regards to what they can and can't keep hidden, and should open up big pharma and all of the researchers and all of the policymakers to massive court cases, in my honest opinion. This should nullify all of their indemnity, all of their security and never being prosecuted for it. This should rip that apart and allow case after after case after case. This is where we get justice for the people that have unfortunately passed and unfortunately become very, very ill for doing what they thought at the time was the right thing. Shocking, but it's the first step, isn't it? If the British Medical Journal of Medical Ethics is coming up with this conclusion, it won't be long until they're all doing the same, and then we can start fighting back and getting justice for every single one of us. But what say you? Let me know what you think in the comments, everyone. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.